Hello there. It's
Hi.
Geek time again. Hello, Susan. Um, we're sitting down today discussing a 1989 movie starring Michael Douglas in the lead. His first movie since his Oscar win in '87 with Wall Street. So
Mhm.
he had a couple of years out, and this was his return to the movies. And this was a box office hit in 1989. Um, called Black Rain. It's all about a New York cop who's sent across to Japan to take a prisoner back there, but it all goes tits up. And it's the story of him trying to, get this culprit back. And it turns out to be all about counterfeit money and the culture clash
Oh yeah,
of
that
of,
was a
of
big part of it.
of his attitude, his New York attitude towards the way the Japanese did their policing. So we'll get into that as we go along. Also in this movie, you've got Andy Garcia as his partner,
Mhm.
Charlie. You've got no, I always these names, these Japanese names. You've got Ken Takakura
Yeah,
uh, as is a police ally of theirs while in Japan. You've got Kate.
Masahiro, and he was the one that was by the book.
Mhm, and given the job to show him around. You've got Kate Capshaw in this as Joyce. Um, I only remember Kate Capshaw from Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom.
Yeah,
Um, so it was good to see her. And you had no, this is a name. Yuzaku Matsuda, I think, is how you pronounce it. But who played Sato? He was the main villain of the piece.
yeah, he was the
Uh,
one who that they captured in New York, right?
yeah, yeah. This was his last movie. While he was filming this, he was dying of, I think it was cancer.
Oh,
Um, so yeah, this after it was all filmed and stuff, he passed away in '89. Um, but he didn't give in. He carried on filming while he was ill. So I think while this movie was in the cinemas, it was dedicated to his memory. Um, yeah, so it's a story of a New York cops in Japan against the gangland over there. So we'll go over to Susan. I know it's a long opening shot there, but we're going over to Susan now. Black Rain, Susan.
all right. Well, yeah, we got it, and it's a good one. It's a good movie. Like it, and like the other one from this weekend, I'd never seen it before.
Really?
Really, and it's like it's honestly like the Douglases. I didn't delve too deeply into the Douglases. I did enjoy the Wall Street movie
Uh-huh.
a lot because of the Wolf of Wall Street is all about this the it's basically about the situation with what's his name. Anyway, I forget the banker's name, but he was an investment banker who goes wrong, really wrong. And the perfect casting of Andy Garcia. He's played a good mobster, and he's also played good cops, and he's played. I mean, he's a really good protagonist in certain things, and and the and the guy the character Sato was so interesting, and he had so much um you know ugliness, and you know, he was such a good escape artist. He was that whole thing was really amazing, and how he was so plugged into the I think it's called Yakura or Yakuza. Yakuza crime families. The Yakuza is sort of like the triads in Hong Kong.
Mhm.
It's what they build. Uh, it's the game, and it's the fierce fighting of folks who kind of learned how to fight in uh it's a street fight. It's kind of like the street fights, and so yeah, that was always really interesting because of like the street fights of you know how street dancing and street fighting uh are portrayed as part of Japanese culture,
Mhm.
and that their gangs and in this case they were counterfeiting uh actual US currency with these plates, but you know, back then it was also about the money having a certain kind of paper. So they were also like they they needed the plates, but they also needed the right kind of paper. And that then they would have gone into big business back then, counterfeiting. So let's just say that that's kind of dated now because the paper itself has so many different things in it. It's actually a lot like the British pound now. It's got it's got the like the pound. It has the watermark of the president on the bill, like, and not president like Franklin. Um, Never been a president, but was instrumental in creating the currency of America. So that's why he became, and Hamilton also, you know, they, these two were instrumental. And so there's a watermark, there's a metallic strip like there is in the pound. And then there's also the color changing, and any, yeah, and the what do you mean? What do I mean? The the three the three-dimensional hologram in there too, and that's
Yeah.
part of the strip as well. And I know that you guys are going to be getting King money, but you know it's gonna.
Yeah, we've already got them.
Oh, all right, but so anymore it wouldn't work, but back then it sure as hell would. And if you had the plates were the important thing because the plates could be stolen from the mint
Yeah.
and transported, and all you needed then was the paper, and the plates and the paper would make you millions and millions and millions and millions of dollars because you could keep making currency, just you know, keep counterfeiting it. And you know, there's the whole thing with like the George Floyd thing is that he had a counterfeit 20. I mean, he had one bill, a counterfeit 20, and it cost him his gosh darn life. So counterfeiting is also something that you know, from back a couple of years ago. I mean, it's a big deal, but yeah, these cops were also kind of interesting. Like there was a culture. There was walking into uh uh Masahiro's uh home, and he just kind of waltzes in, and Charlie's
Shoes,
got,
shoes.
yeah, Charlie's like, take off your dang shoes.
Yeah,
And yeah,
there is in this a big culture clash.
yeah, Nick,
The way the New York cops deal with things, and the
yeah,
way the Japanese do with it, with Michael Douglas's character. He seems to think they're just not doing anything, and it's going too slowly.
yeah,
He
and
wants
Bever,
he wants it there and then doing it now.
yeah, yeah, and it was, I mean, that was sort of kind of like the difference between the Detroit cops and Beverly Hills cops too. And I mean, that is a good story bead
Mm.
for telling a story about a crime, a family, uh, it's a cultural difference, a it's just interesting, like all that stuff that they go through.
And also,
And
also as well in this as well, there was slight racist slurs as well
oh, I know,
toward the Japanese.
I know,
Um, but that was the attitude of the cops. But he was a street cop from New York.
uh-huh,
Um, all mouth and all action sort of thing. Um, that was the attitude of his character.
yeah,
I, I know when the Slayer was about the Japanese, I
yeah,
thought, well, I don't think they'd put that in a movie anymore, but it's real life. That's how it
yeah,
happened. Um, and
it's
the,
true.
the 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 film did have a bit of the film did have a bit of trouble in production.
What
Um,
was that? What was the trouble in production?
well, the director Ridley Scott, the famous Ridley Scott.
Yeah, from
Uh,
Alien and all of those things. Yeah.
oh yeah, yeah. He a lot because it was filmed in Japan. Um, it the red tape from Japan. He, well, he said he would never work in Japan again. Did Ridley Scott? Um, his filming was stopped by powers that be, saying you can't use the what do you call them, the the firearms and stuff like that. The prop firearms, you couldn't use them. You couldn't film there. You did this, that, and the other. Um, so in the end, he just left Japan and went back to America and filmed the rest of the movie. The movie in California, I think it was.
Yeah, in a farm in California.
Yeah, yeah. But he had problems then because some of
Because
the
the
Japanese
actors didn't want to, didn't,
couldn't get the visas to come across at so he had to get sort of lookalikes.
I know, that's ridiculous.
Yeah, there's too much red tape while filming.
Yeah, and too much governmental involvement and stuff. But that, I mean, uh,
I mean,
to be
that's I kind
honest,
of,
like that was the story of the movie in the movie too.
yeah, but I can't understand it if this film company was given the okay to make a movie Black Rain in Japan, and all of a sudden they just built up brick walls in front of them every time. Why give them the okay to film there?
That's a really good question.
Yeah, But
And it's like if you shoot in Boston, like you got to do all the union stuff.
yeah, it's
I
weird,
mean,
weird, weird. But Ridley Scott said, "I'll never film in Japan again." I mean, I don't know if he has or not,
yeah,
but it's a great story, and I do like the way they used the Japanese actors, um, proper Japanese actors, well-known Japanese actors in their own country,
right.
um, and also as well at the beginning of the movie they were talking Japanese and there was no subtitles.
That was cool.
It was cool because you could follow sort of the story. You sort of knew what was going on.
Yeah, I mean, and the whole thing with you know the Japanese cultural movies that came over here and the anime
Yeah,
also, like there was like there was enough of a cultural uh, interesting uh people are used to like non sub non subtitles
yeah.
um things coming from Japan.
I mean, okay, when they had the meeting with the gangsters near the end of the movie, there was subtitles because you needed to know what actually was being said,
Yeah.
especially when Sato had to cut his finger off.
Mhm.
Um, but yeah, it didn't take away from the movie that they were talking because some movies you do, you think I'm not following this, but you could follow this one. Um, yeah. Also, as well, might as well, we'll have to mention Hans Zimmer, uh,
The composer,
composer. He did the for the film. Yeah.
so
He's done a
good.
hell of a lot of movies. He's up there with John Williams, I think. Um, and this the soundtrack for me. It's got one of my favourite songs, and it's called "Living on the Edge of the Night." And you can hear it on the radio in one of the scenes in the movie, um, performed by Iggy Pop.
Iggy Pop, yeah.
Yeah, it's a great song. You've also got in there, you've got UB40 in there, Soul to Soul, Sakamoto's in there, um, just to name a few. Um, Great soundtrack. It encapsulates the feel of the movie, of the
Uh-huh.
of the bright neon Japan, because it's neon and it flashing lights, neon in Japan. That's what you have that image of Japan in your head, and this is what this movie had.
Yeah, and Jaffe was a producer, and you know, he was there was a lot of like it was produced by a cast of thousands, you know.
Yeah,
There was like seven
but
producers, eight producers on it. It was great. And like you Yasuki Mizuno, uh, being the Japanese producer. And you think the that that would have opened the doors, you know, more.
yeah, that's true. But I mean, what was this? The budget for this was $30 million. I mean, that's nothing compared to the movies these days, is it?
Not anymore. Yeah,
Um,
if it's not over 100 million, it's
yeah, and I think it grossed about 135, so it was a success.
yeah,
Um,
it was.
but you say Michael Douglas was back then a, a big leading man back in the 80s and 90s. So anything he sort of appeared in, he did pull the audiences in.
Right?
I mean, also as well, we're filming this a few days ago. He celebrated his 80th birthday. It must have been about 4 days ago. So
Yeah, and the other cool thing was the um like Al Leong, he was really famous and stuff, and Celia Xavier,
yeah,
and and those were the uncredited people, but they were also well known.
yeah, yeah,
Yep.
and the, the tradition as well. You learn a few Japanese traditions in this movie about the passing of well, it's not spoilers that Charlie does get killed.
Yeah.
Um, and he's passing on the belongings, and you can choose an item from the belongings. So so what does he do? He takes his gun. He's like, oh yeah, shit's gonna hit the fan now.
Yep. And Louis Guzman's in it, and Stephen Root is in it. I mean, it's
Mm,
got some really cool actors. John Spencer, Shigeru Koyama is well known, and Yusaku
yeah.
Matsuda, he's also really well known in, in Japan. Yeah, so I mean, it really was.
For its time, for 1989, to have well-known Japanese actors appear in a mainstream American blockbuster movie was
Yeah, it was
was
great.
was quite a thing at the time, I would say.
Yeah, and anymore now, it's like everyone is hoping for, the Chinese acceptance because of the money that can be generated from China. But
Yeah,
at that time, it was the money that could be generated from Japan,
yeah, yeah.
the
It's
80s.
I'm saying I chose this movie because I was thinking of the other Douglas movie we talked about, but that was Kirk, and I thought, do you know what? Let's have one of his son's movies. And
Yeah,
I thought, what haven't we seen for a while? It could have been any movie, but I thought, no, no, we'll do Black Rain.
right.
And I had the feeling that you might not have seen it, and I was right.
Yeah, yeah, I hadn't. And but Alex was excited because he had seen it and he enjoyed it a lot, so that's why he bought it.
It's a damn good movie.
Yeah,
Uh, it's as I say, if people out there, if you like your action, if you like your cop movies,
yeah,
um, this is one for you. Um,
quintessential 80s
yeah, yeah,
storytelling.
yeah. Late 80s, going into the 90s. Um, so don't give a damn movie sort of thing. Um, and Michael Douglas plays the part brilliantly.
Yeah, he does, and so does Andy
Uh,
Garcia.
yeah, I mean, is literally he is a bad cop turned good by the end of it
Yeah,
because he is being investigated, isn't he? But of theft of money.
yeah, but
Um, it literally does. He does say he did do it.
yeah,
So
by internal affairs.
yeah. So but he's good at playing them sort of characters.
Yeah, it's
Uh,
just so good.
so good, yeah. So anything else you want to say about Black Rain?
Um, yeah, I think that I don't remember, but they were talking about the. I don't remember when the title was mentioned.
Oh, yeah, it was near the end when he was saying, and the Black Rain came and covered us. Um, it was when he was talking to the gangland boss.
Yeah,
he was arranging to set Sato up.
Yeah,
He was on about the wars and the Black Rain coming.
yeah,
Yeah, because I thought that, I was watching, because you say it's been a few years since I watched, and I'm thinking, why is it called Black Rain? And then they
wow,
said that character I've just mentioned it in passing.
yeah.
But yeah, damn good movie. So, should we go to final say and score?
Sure.
Over to you, Susan.
All right. Well, because of the cultural stuff in it, it really was interesting, and
Yeah.
because of the cop, redemption story. It's not propaganda. Propaganda is the trope right now that all of these TV shows have and all of these movies have, where the cop is the good guy. And yeah, George Floyd, beyond Breonna Taylor, all these other situations where these police officers don't have a clue how to treat people because they're so racist. And these cops are, honoring the cultural difference, even if there's slight racism. And that's the difference between propaganda and a good cop story, good bad cop story, good cop, bad cop. And Black Rain is all about that, and the fact that they are attempting to confront someone who's involved in the Yakuza gangs. It is kind of like Andy Garcia's forte, right? So,
Oh, we
um,
haven't we haven't mentioned Andy Garcia's and his impromptu karaoke with "What I Say."
yeah, and
Uh, you didn't expect that scene.
right, and then like Andy Garcia's involvement in the Oceans movie,
Yeah,
11, 12, 15, and 8, all that stuff. He's great, and so I enjoyed it.
yeah,
10,
cool,
10 counterfeit hundreds out of 10.
cool. Well, it's an amazing movie. It's the culture clash makes the movie as well. It brings it to the forefront, and it makes you think. The action's brilliant, and we do get a lot of motorbike action in this.
Oh
There's a
yeah,
lot of motorbikes. Um, Great acting from all involved. So I'm, I'm going to give it 10 counterfeit plates out of 10 as well. It's, it's it's one of these movies what people should watch
yeah,
and just see how good Douglas is
yeah.
at these sort of characters.
He is.
Um, so yeah, that's our review of Ridley Scott's Black Rain, starring Michael Douglas and all the other marvelous Japanese actors in it, and Andy Garcia, of course. Um, Wish he was in it a little bit longer, but he was only in it for about an hour. Um,
Yep,
but his character still stands out. Um,
true.
yeah, so you guys, if you've seen Black Rain, um, I think the Black Rain reference is about Hiroshima, isn't it?
Hmm.
Um, Thinking of it now, that the gang boss was talking about when they dropped the bomb and the Black Rain came down. But So it's a bit of thoughtful
Okay,
thing there in
that's
the
what
movie.
that was, Hiroshima,
Yeah.
Hiroshima and Nagasaki.
But yeah, if you've seen it, guys, let us know what you thought of it. Leave a comment below on the video. You'll find this video on the social media platforms. We share it to most of them. Leave a comment. Let us know what you thought of the movie. If you want to join us, leave a comment, and we'll soon get in touch with you. Just got to be 18 or over, because some movies and TV shows is 18 rated, like this one is 18. Um, all you need is a working camera and microphone and the device you use. So, you just get in touch and we'll get you involved. Also, as well, if you subscribe to our YouTube channel, please press the bell notification button and you'll get notified every time we
Ding,
put up a
ding,
video. There was another ding ding.
because I just, I can't
So,
get the,
so that is how we finish this week's casts. I hope you've enjoyed the choices, Susan. Um,
thanks.
I hope you guys out there have enjoyed it. So all we have to do now is go like that. Bye for now. Yes.
Sayonara.